Okay, so the pinna is the external part of the ear, which is like what we see and what other humans see. And right here is the auditory canal, which waves come into and hit the eardrum. Once it hits the eardrum, the waves could pass through the hammer, the anvil, and the stirrup, which is right there, even though it's really small. And depending on where it goes, it could go into two different places. It could go on the chain tube, which goes down and leads to your nose, or it can go up on the auditory nerves and leads up to your thalamus. So right here is the cochlear, which is a spiral-shaped, fluid-filled inner ear structure, and inside of the cochlear it has hair cells, and the hair cells are bent by the fluid that's inside the cochlear that ripples in the vascular membrane, which is right here, and yeah. Okay, so the semicircular canals, which are located right here, help us keep balance, and they connect into the cochlear, and they're filled with liquids. They kind of like move it around like a cycle, and once all this, the whole process is done with the information, it goes to the temporal lobe, which the temporal lobe will receive the information and then process it and make us understand what we're hearing.
Right here is the cornea, and the cornea is the clear tissue that surrounds the front of the eye and covers the front of the eye as it protects it. Right here is the pupil, or right around here. It is the adjustable opening in the center of the eye, which light enters through and the eye processes that. And then right here is the iris. The iris is a ring of muscle tissue that forms the colored portion of the eye, which surrounds the pupil and controls the size of the pupil cornea. And it is the clear tissue that covers the front of the eye and protects it from everything that could be harmful to it. Right here is the pupil, and it is the adjustable opening near the center of the eye, which light enters through as it processes light. Right here is the iris. It's a ring of muscle tissue that forms the colored portion of the eye, which is appealing to other humans. And it surrounds the pupil and controls the size of the pupil. So right here is the lens, and the lens is kind of like a transparent structure, and it's located behind the pupil, and it changes shape to help focus images focus on images from the retina. And then right here, this is the retina, and it is light sensitive. It is the inner surface of the eye containing the receptor rods and cones, plus layers of neurons that begin the processing of types of visual information. And then right here is the fovea. That is the central focal point in the retina, and that is around the eye's cone clusters. All right, so right here are the cones. These are the retinal receptor cells that are concentrated near the center of the retina, which are typically supposed to be here, and they function in daylight or well-lit conditions that are not harmful to their stimulus, and they detect fine detail and give rise to color sensations. And then right here are the bipolar cells, and they're eye neurons that receive and process information from the retinal cells and distribute information to the ganglion cells right here. These are the ganglion cells, and they are cells which lie behind the bipolar cells right here, whose axons from the optic nerve take information straight from their processes right to the brain. And then right here is the optic nerve, right around here, and this is the nerve that carries neural impulses from the eye, which are these processes right to the brain.
The thalamus is the brain sensory control center, located on the top of the brainstem, depicted in the earlier tutorial. It directs messages to the sensory receiving areas in the cortex and transmits replies to the cerebellum and medulla. The optic chiasm, the point in the brain where the visual field information from each eye crosses over. So if it were depicted between two eyes, it would be right around here, because the eye stems would go here and they would be right here. The occipital lobe, region of the cerebral cortex, it processes visual information that was shown in an earlier tutorial. Feature detectors, nerve cells in the brain that respond to specific features of the stimulus, such as shape, angle, or movement. The blind spot, as seen right on here, the point at which the optic nerve leaves the eye, creating a blind spot because no receptor cells are located there. For theories, the trichromatic theory, theory of color vision that proposes 3 types of cones, red, blue, and green. Opponent process theory, the theory that opposing retinal processes enable color vision.